How's it going, Laser Bruce's up? I'm Sixkilla and welcome back to Head as Code. Now, I haven't got any specific plans for this episode because we ended the last one on a whole bunch of bad endings. I think this one here, and this one over here, and maybe this one here. These were all in close proximity. I can't see how we can get to these question marks here, so I'm assuming it has something to do with the choices you've made leading up to that point, all having to converge to get the sort of result that you're after. And I'm not too sure that I'm ready for that yet. So I thought what we might do is try and head back to some of these other question mark offshoots, like this blue one, this orange one, and this pink one, and see if we can maybe hit some of those, or whether we have to make bigger choices in the back. I don't know. Let's jump into this one, and I'll bring you back if I can find a different choice that'll bring us towards this blue one here. See you in a minute. Alright, I found the choice that makes the change here. I'd forgotten about this one. It's really nice that Moon has made it so that the ones we've already picked are dimmed out, so we know we've already picked it. Instead of going as a team, we want to stay with A here and in the lobby while everyone else goes out to look for the twins, who may or may not already be dead. My kind of nature took over and I decided to stay behind. The fact it wouldn't disturb the groups already formed was just an added bonus to the fact that I wanted to make sure the twins were fine, if I could help it. I'll stay here, but before you go, don't forget to enter your code in the console, so when the twins get here, we can get it open. With that, the teams quickly formed. There wasn't any need for a dispute. Marco and Ray went together, and the other team was made of Jasmine and E. After they left with the next train, I turned to A. Funny how they split up boys with boys and girls with girls, huh? Yes, very funny. What, not amused? I notice you're not too open to joking around. I don't know what happened to you for lose your sense of humour, but it's good to let loose sometimes. At my age? Perhaps. However, I tend to prefer resolving all matters of problems by using my head. Laughing comes out of your head. After all, don't you harbour your own worries too? He wasn't wrong. I was thinking about the twins while leaning against the wall. I wonder when they come back. I hope they were safe, of course. Smiley was some bastard for kidnapping two young innocent girls and keeping them in this terrible place. She had looked so frightened earlier, which honestly was an understandable reaction. H was the fiercer one, and because of that, she hadn't looked so scared, but I'm sure she felt similarly. As usual, my head went into the abyss of worst case scenarios. What if one of them got injured while exploring their room? Or what if they couldn't solve what they had to? Anything was possible, and it made me wonder about what would happen if I couldn't escape one of those rooms. Would we stay stuck there? Would Smiley get us out? Certainly Smiley had a goal too, didn't he? Was us dying part of that goal? I see I hit the jackpot with that one. You went completely silent at my question. His outburst pulled me out of my thoughts. Yeah, sorry about that. No problem. I pardon you, but in return I desire a little bit of thought experiment with you to better explain what I think about. Is that fine? Do I have a choice? I trust you've heard of the infinite monkey theorem at least once, yes? What, infinite monkeys and infinite typewriters? Apparently I didn't have a choice. That's the thing with the Shakespeare monkeys. Something like that. The example of Shakespeare's work is simply used in this context to illustrate something complex ultimately being reproduced. Let's keep it to the simplest terms. Let's say, for example, you have one monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter. Eventually, given enough time, say infinite time, the monkey will probably at some point have entered the exact sequence to reproduce anything. Be it Shakespeare's work, be the digits of pi, be it a highly secret encoded message from the government about the state of nuclear war, it's almost surely be reproduced. Is a nuclear war? It's just an example. I'm simply explaining that there are a few parameters that come into play, and all of those aren't literally what the theorem says. The monkey isn't actually a monkey, too. It's just something that means a force incapable of thinking for itself, selecting at random. The other parameter is, as I explained, the sequence being reproduced. Given those, then any sequence will almost surely be reproduced, which means it may also never happen forever. However, given infinite time, then it will happen, and indefinitely so. It would take infinite time to reproduce it, but even if it's crazy, with a second infinite time, then it'll happen again. After all, infinity times infinity is simply that, infinity. All mathematical equations regarding infinity always ends the same way. If you add infinity to infinity, it gives infinity. Multiplication, same deal. when it doesn't really work as a number. Dividing it will only give 1, because infinity is still, in this case, a variable that represents a set number. That number just so happens to be infinity. And if you subtract it, then it gives 0. Even if you multiply infinity by itself multiple times, even if you add it up, even if you do anything to make it bigger, as soon as you subtract infinity from it, it's gone. But I digress, we're a little off topic. I crossed my arms, unable to really comprehend what this madman was on about. What was this about infinity? Let's go back to the monkey. Instead of using a monkey, let's use human beings. We'll give them the freedom of thought too. Let's put, say, infinite people in a circle. Give the first one a paper and a pen, and say the paper is infinitely long and the pen is infinitely filled with ink. Now each person will pass the paper to each other and write a letter. What are the chances of something being reproduced? In infinity, in infinite time, it's a guarantee. Still random, no? But there's the catch. This time we don't have a random monkey. We have people with their own sense of observation. Those senses in everyone's thoughts will affect which letter they put after the other. They may start seeing patterns. If you write funk, what do you think the next letter might be? Y, maybe? That's right. People will write funky because that's what their mind will associate it with. In that sense, do you think the person that put the letter Y had free will? Oh yes, the person could have also picked something else. They just happened to pick it because they felt it was the most natural. Conclusion. It means it's much more likely that they'll pick a Y, because we're people. Don't you think that's strange? A person certainly had free will, but they picked Y for extremely logical reasons. If you replace them with something else, what do you think would happen? I guess it depends on the person. Correct. Now what does that mean? But his question would go unanswered. I saw a train approach right as he asked that, and my attention snapped to it. Through the windows I saw the twins arrive. Hey, they're alive this time. Oh wait, they were last time too. I was glad because they were fine, but also because I made the right decision in waiting here. The twins stepped out of the train and they looked around, apparently surprised we weren't more numerous. Oh, welcome back, young ladies. As you see, we've been waiting for you to come back. The others have left for their other stations with the intent to expedite our escape. I let him speak with them while I waited next to the consoles. It didn't take long for the two of them to enter their code, and soon the door was open to all of us. Time to see what's up in there. Stepping through the lobby, I noticed it was just like any other station. Don't you think that's dangerous? Entering this place with all 4 of us? What if we get punished? No, I don't believe so. Smiley said this one was different than the others. It seems this is the leisure station. So let us find out what that means. We all climbed the stairs. When we arrived inside, we saw something interesting. It was some sort of lounge. Fun! We should have a look around before all those chumps who left us behind get back here. You shouldn't discard them so readily, sis. Well, they chose to go, so it's whatever. Not too trustworthy if you ask me. At the twins' insistence, we explored the place. I figured A was more level-headed than the others, so I chose to talk with him. We'd probably go further in, and I would lose the chance of seeing what was around here for myself first. Okay. Yes, it's an air conditioner. Hey, you can't reach that from where you are. One of the twins have been in the process of trying to reach the machine at the top. It's hard to differentiate them, but I believe this one had to be H. But if we can reach it, maybe it's a time travel device. Don't you recognize the hum coming from it? It's clearly an air conditioner. Yeah, your head looks like it needs a hair conditioner. Ugh. Air, not hair. Right, your head's covered with hair, and it's also full of air. You little devil. Help, he's gonna beat me up. What? G came by right away, looking at me with a frown. I wasn't gonna do anything, I swear. Besides, the machine isn't humming, you dumbass. It could be anything. H pulled her tongue at me and all I could do was glare at her. What a pair of scamps. And she was right. The machine was turned off, so how did I know this was an air conditioner? Wait, why would you say it's humming if it's turned off? What? Still gotta time travel. What makes you want to time travel that much anyway? Life was much simpler back then. If I could time travel, then I'd be at home having fun. That was just a few hours ago though. Your home's still there for when you escape this place. H disregarded what I was saying and kept jumping to try and get onto the machine to bring it down. It took me fetching G to stop her because if she broke the AC, Smiley might have gotten mad at us and then made our heads fall off. This looks like a good couch. I give it a 7 out of 10. Oh, used to the finer things, are we? Huh? We're rating couches now? Here's the comfort level. Looks familiar enough that I'm willing to give it a 7 out of 10. What if I sat on it though? G did exactly that. Her face lit up. Oh, this is the couch of the heavens. 10 out of 10, straight up. 10 out of 10. Who even taught you about this? Did you just make it up? No, an old lady did. I think. I can't remember too well. Well, that old lady is whack then. But I'd still take your word for it on the comfort level thing. Damn, that's whack. This table was so reflective. I can see my face on it. It was almost as reflective as a mirror. It was so shiny. I clapped my cheeks to wake myself up. There was no time to get lost in its shininess. Oh, it's so shiny. Maybe one more look. No. No looking. The tables have turned. No more looking at its shininess. Wicked. It's kind of wicked. Yeah, same thing I thought. Cool too. Yeah, wait, no, that's not what wicked means. Guess you're just old. I'm barely in my 20s. Yeah, old man. Old man. Old man. Oh my god, stop. I fled the scene feeling like I was thrice my age in the process. Damn those young whippersnappers. Oh my god, sound like an old man. I made them get off my lawn if it was the last thing I did. The water cooler disapproved of my investigation. I had no choice but to abandon the pursuit. There was a mysterious power coming from that piece of plastic. That sounds exactly like a LucasArts description of something. Fantastic. When life gives you water, you make a water cooler. There were 3 lamps on the wall in the corner. Maybe more were disseminated around the room, keeping it well lit. There was no way to turn them off unless we broke them. I don't think Smiley would appreciate that. I don't give a shit what he appreciates. At least Smiley's given us some greenery. The walls here look totally bland though. It's so bleak. Grey and terrible. Like your face. Can you go a few seconds without harassing me? Life is fleeting. If I don't do it now, when will I have the chance again? About 10 years. This is the doorway we took to enter this place. It was just that, an opening in the wall. Come to think of it, it didn't even have a door. Were doors just a kind of wall anyway? Deep. So about your escape room, did it go well? Kind of. I couldn't see the colours too well though. Well, that doesn't sound great. If you need colours, yeah, I can see why that would be an issue. Just kidding. So my sister is colourblind. But you just said, wait, is it possible only one twin is colourblind? It's rare, but yes. Which one of us is colourblind? I don't know. Maybe it was your sister who's colourblind. I couldn't tell. That riddle would eat at me for a while. While I was caught in my thoughts, G scampered off. What do you want? I was just checking in since you took quite a while to solve your own. Did anything happen there? No, we're fine. It's not because I'm colourblind or anything. You're colourblind? I just said I wasn't. But... H glared at me. I dropped the subject. Maybe your sister was colourblind then. It's definitely H who's colourblind. According to the twins, they found one of the exit rooms with a scanner too. The old man filled me in on what he learned as he walked further into the place, soon arriving at the bar counter. I figured the twins would be too young to frequent this kind of thing. In here, I guess it didn't matter so much. I assume these rooms are our tickets to leave if we find the 9th person. However, something's been bothering me for quite a while now. Go on, let me know. Remember when Smiley said that once we found the 9th person, 2 of us would be allowed to leave? What if he truly meant it that way? What if once you find the 9th person, only them and someone else can go? Can't we use the exit room for the station if things turn sour? No, this place has no exit room. Strange too. How can you tell? The twins found maps in their room. Let me show you. He pulled out a pile of papers and set them on the counter. Flipping through them, he eventually pulled out the one for this station. See? There's no exit here. Only ways to leave this place in this area is to take the staircase down to the train. We were momentarily joined by G, who was curious about the topic. Strange. Feel free to keep looking at the maps. I'll get myself a jolly old drink. What a pisshead. And with that, he left us alone. Deciding to share the paper with the twin, I pulled her away. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Come here. I have something to show you. To show me? Shh, I don't want to share it with anybody else yet. She followed me, her interest piqued. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a piece of paper I found in the bedroom. The paper speaks of someone who doesn't belong. Do you know who that might refer to? I don't know, I feel like everyone doesn't belong here. Ouch. I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, everyone here looks like they're from somewhere else or is doing something else compared to anyone else, except for my sister and me. Jay looks like she works at a law office, for example. She's an artist, a graphic designer. All that. Same thing. Anyway, I meant that like, I guess, I don't know. Sorry, I don't think anyone here fits the bill. She was strangely evasive over the topic, but I didn't insist. Instead, I just let her go and she nodded, sauntering her way back to her sister in the lounge. Maybe she's covering for her sister. I'll need to ask her more about it later. Or I could directly investigate by confronting H about it. Since the twins had gotten themselves busy, I chose to look around for the old man. However, he wasn't in the bar anymore. Drunk already, huh? Crap, you left me all alone. Hey, have you seen the old man? Yeah, looking right in. I called over to the twins to ask them if they'd seen A, but one of them, I assumed it was H, with how rude she was, instead decided that it would be a good idea to call me an old man. I didn't ask you. I'm asking the twin who's older than 5 years old. We're way over triple that. And if we're twins, we both have the same age, you dolt. Can't understand the baby noises you're making, sorry. Goo goo gaga. I think I see him go leaping through a doorway earlier. That side. Before I started duking it out with their twin, G told me what I asked about. I saluted and left the area without a further fanfare. As I was doing so, the other twin threw a tantrum about how I treated her sister better. If she wanted to be jealous, then sure, why not? But I didn't think it suited her at all. I found the man downstairs, in the lobby on the other side of the station. This is the side we'd started upon, where Smiley talked to us. Ah, there you are. I found a keypad here. Surprisingly, all I had to do was press any key and the door opened. I suppose it was simply barring our entry until we opened either door. I assume the same would have happened if, for example, we chanced our way to this side and chose to take the train the other way. Did you intend on heading out? Not yet. Would you like to go for a drink, perhaps? We can wait until the others come back here. The lounge looks quite comfortable. I guess I could go for one. Come to think of it, maybe I do feel thirsty. Splendid. I can make a good amount of drinks. I've had a little time as a barista before. Mixing chemicals is ingrained in my head. He guffawed with his deep, rich, yet hoarse voice. I didn't want anything alcoholic, but before I could notify him, he'd already left the area. Does he take me for Ray or something? I wandered back upstairs, to the bar side this time around. When I got there, all three of the others were already seated, all behind the counter. The old man was the former and the twins the latter. Mind if I have a look around here while you mix it up? Oh, and by the way, nothing alcoholic for me and for the twins. Hey, don't talk for us. What if we want to drink too? Then you're gonna need to wait a few years, little Missy. But since your sister is older than you, maybe she'll be allowed. We have the same age, I told you. G stared at us, bemused. The old man shrugged at my question. Feel free to have a look around, even behind the bar if you want. Though please don't get in my way as I prepare them. I wanted to make sure he didn't put anything in the drinks that I didn't want. His request was fair, since I also wanted to know what it was like behind the counter, as I'd never seen a bar this close before. Interesting. Oh, we never really got to look around here before. This clock's hands are stuck on that time. They're not moving. Like the cells in your brain. Stop patronizing me and I'll treat you better. Do we have a deal? I don't make deals with terrorists. I'm not a terrorist, I'm a pizza delivery man. Pizza Huit? Exactly. Oh, I won't have a pizza now. Maybe with extra meat? Don't eat too much or you'll get big. Don't you know that kind of thing makes you fat? I left him to the little squabble, making no comment on the type of pizza G wanted. What is in here? A ventilation shaft. No, wait. Behind the grate is another grate. It's made of grates all the way down. Maybe the twins could have fit in there if we removed the grates. However, I saw a fan much deeper in. They wouldn't get through that. It was a valiant effort, but ultimately useless. Damn. There were some tall glasses, mugs, and a machine for dispensing alcohol. I tried the tap just for a moment, but it didn't give anything. Heh, you can't even get beer here. Then there's no fear. Though the situation does give me a little tear. I took a glance at my peer, and my face was a little sneer. As far as I'm concerned, this place can shove alcohol up its rear? Why are we all rhyming here? Oh my god, I fucking rhymed then too. I muttered the last part, but stopped myself before I got indoctrinated in some sort of rhyming cult. It's too late for me, I'm indoctrinated. Everybody save yourself. If I sat down there, I'd probably get my drink and we'd move on. What purpose does that thing serve anyway? Maybe it dims the lights a little so you can feel your brain squash even further due to the alcohol. Looks nice though. 99 bottles of alcohol on the wall, 99 bottles of alcohol. Take one down, pass it around, 98 bottles of alcohol on the wall. Maybe you aren't going to sing until you reach 0. I saw H shudder, though I had no idea about what was going on with her. Did you dislike me singing about alcohol? G took a moment to reassure her, apologising for me, or so I assumed. Well, if it was this bad, I wouldn't do it again. Got your drink yet? Coming right up. He sent it to the twin before she could even reply to me. From what I could tell, the drink wasn't alcoholic, and it didn't seem to contain any illicit substances. What kind of illicit substances? Methamphetamine. Well, you enjoy it now. Where's mine, eh? Next up will be yours, give me a moment. Well, I have some experience with this, I'm still old. Everyone's old here. I frowned, about to retort when G rectified what she said. At least compared to us. When you already got a foot out the door, maybe you can build relationships and links, but us? What are we even doing here? Beats me. Yeah, I will if you continue bothering her. I decided I had better things to do than pick a fight with a teenager, so I let it be. On the first day of Christmas, Smiley gave to me a brand new bottle label. 2 angry twins and an idiot that needs to shut up. You're ruining the song. It's not even remotely close to Christmas. She had a point. I had to figure something else out. The glare H was giving me dissuaded me from doing anything else, and I eventually gave up. So have either of you figured out what ties you to this place yet? Nope. Surely there must be something. Here, your drink, little girl. He passed the glass over to her by sliding it onto the countertop. She caught it like an old-age cowboy would in a saloon. We graduated from secondary school not too long ago. The last year was hell, let me tell you. I remember my own time at school. It was pretty hard. There were bullies and cliques, all matter of straight-up twisted minds. Teens didn't usually care about other people. Depending on the kind of person you were, it was either heaven or hell. It was hell. Hey, do you know what the difference is between normal secondary school and a polyvalent secondary school? I had to admit I'd never even questioned it. What I did know was the American equivalent of secondary school, a high school. Before I went to the Artistic Institute of Vancouver with Jasmine, I went to a polyvalent school too. I just never questioned why it was referred to in that way. Nobody? Huh. It's just because the school also has the option for professional formation. In the 4th wing of the school for us. That is true. However, the term polyvalent secondary school hasn't been in use since at least 2014. I think it's only a type of school in our region too. If you told this to someone from the US, they wouldn't even know what you mean. Is that right? Someone told me, so I guess they were just badly informed? H looked at G as if accusing her. G shrugged, though the two of them were clearly puzzled for reasons beyond my understanding. I didn't feel right questioning them, so I let it be. So what are you mixing up anyway? For the girls I'm making peach banana cocktail, and for you? Nah, I'll leave it as a surprise. Oh, come on. At least you could tell me one thing that's in it. I narrowed my eyes as if I was suspicious. He must have bought it since he nodded quickly and decided to rectify the shot. All I can say is I do hope you like the taste of lime. As long as it's not too much. I like lime, of course. I don't know why this man knew that. Perhaps it had been a lucky guess. Everybody likes lime, come on. I sat down and decided to wait for my drink in silence. It didn't take long until A shot it over to me. I caught it and sipped from it deep in thought for a bit. I've been thinking. We shouldn't stay here eternally. We have a lot of stations left to search and we can't stay here forever. I mean, it seems like we could, but I certainly don't want to. We could split up and take the train soon. Right, I don't want to stay here any longer than necessary. Me neither. You two will go wherever together always, huh? Maybe not always. Yes, always. No chance of splitting up. She glared at me. It was at this moment I knew that I fucked up. The old man rescued me out of this predicament. Actually, that is a good idea. Perhaps you may be in disagreement, H, but I believe it may be for the best to split up further. I understand your fears, however. I do want to ask you, if you're uncertain, is it because you believe it would not be safe for her? I also understood why A wanted to split them up. If they ended up together, again, and couldn't solve their own, it would be an even bigger waste of time. Not to mention the fact that they might actually get stuck. But we went together last time. What's the big deal about doing it again? I can tell you that even if you split up, you'll be fine. If something happened to them, then it would surely be the other person in the duo who did it. Don't you think? That's called a deterrent. The fact harming their companion would put a target on their back would make anyone refrain, because otherwise they'd become public enemy number one. Do you understand the concept? I do. I think we might be able to afford doing that, sis. What's being discussed? Jasmine came back in the middle of our discussion. It seemed she'd finished exploring her room and she was now ready to take a load off. Oh, welcome back. You're both fine, thank God. I thought I'd come back with E once we were done. I see the twins are back too. Very good. You two can finish convincing the twins to split up then. I have to share what we found here with E. The old man scooted away in a remarkable hurry. I narrowed my eyes at him as he left. He was leaving us in the hurdle of convincing these little girls about it and escaping from this in the process. So it's like this. The twins don't want to split up, but we should in order to learn about our differences, but also, most importantly, what could link us together here. As the old man said, the partner would never dare hurt the companion, because if they did, then everyone else would know it was them, when they returned to everyone else alone. That makes sense. I don't know. If anyone hurts G, I'll kill you. Not too harsh, sister. Sometimes accidents happen too. Yeah, accidents will happen to those who hurt you. I palmed my face at the way the discussion was going. Thankfully, A came by again, only to deliver terrible news. I'll be heading out with E again. There are only two people who can communicate with her, one of them being myself, so I don't think this was avoidable. He smiled at us and left for the stairs to the side of the station with the train going northward. Dang it, Grandpa! He took this opportunity knowing full well he'd be able to head out faster this way. I almost forgot, we found this too. She took out a pile of papers folded from her pocket. I recognised the pile from earlier. Those are the maps. She must have taken them back after A showed me. Just how much space is in those jeans anyway? Huh? There's a theatre on top of those? Next is a church. Not really my thing. I'm guessing these are all the stations? Yep. Keep looking. And before you ask, the stars had the maps. Fitness centre, infirmary, and I'm guessing based on the next ones underneath, that this is where A and E are heading out to this time. The next one is the science lab, and then there's the security room. Marco and Ray are investigating this one, correct? Yes, I solved the science lab, which was remarkably quick. After the security room is the leisure station, which we're in. That's right. No exits here, just like A mentioned. The pantry is where the eccentrics had gone before. Then the library, the bedroom, and finally the stars, whatever those are. Northwood had 3 more stations to explore, but I didn't want to go to any of those. None of them really seemed appealing except for the theatre, but to get there we would have needed 3 teams of 2, and 2 of those willing to leave before mine. We're better off the other way. There's a pool, recreation, so maybe a park? No park's underground, you big dumb. And a reactor. That sounds dangerous. Strange. These are all labelled maps. The line goes way further than this, no? Yeah. What's the last map? It's weird. It's a thing labelled oval tree. It's like a giant circular room. Strange. Doesn't look like a station. Maybe it's a way to bring the train around and come back the other way. I wonder what it's all about. We won't find by staying here though. 14 stations total, counting the bar lounge. We took our minds off the maps. I convinced H to leave them on the counter, deciding that it was good to have him access in our headquarters, so to say. What are our teams? I don't really have a preference. I'll go with Sis. But H, they just said earlier it'd be fine to split up. Wait, you want to split up now? I don't know. Maybe it's a better idea than sticking together and not mixing up. We're also suffering from a lack of info. Okay, fine. I'm opening to mix it up too if that's the case, but I don't like it. She angrily crossed her arms, staring at the rest of us over her shoulder. They hadn't made up their minds with which person they'd go with. Even if they were open to mixing it up, as H had said, the decision was going back to me again. I did want to go with the twins, but Jasmine might have found something in the laboratory. She was also more familiar. Then again, if I picked her, all this fight about splitting the twins would be for naught. She was staring at me too, pressuring me into picking her, despite her earlier words. How two-faced. H was a little bit like Jasmine in this way. She was taking charge and was not afraid of anything. This was an odd change for Jasmine, admittedly, but those 4 years affected her that much. I could also head out with G. She was calmer, but smarter. She also had her shy moments, and I kind of wanted to try pulling her out of her shell. No matter which one I wanted to go with, I had to pick now. Whoa, 3 choices? Whoa, this could be good. We're gonna wrap it up here. This seems like the perfect time to wrap it up. I really want to go with G to start with, because she seems like the nicer one of the twins. So we'll do G, then we'll do H, and then we'll do Jasmine, and see how those all play out. So we'll do it in order. But we'll kick off with G in the next episode. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.